If you are coming now to a place that nobody knows you, and they would ask you, who are you, William Phillips? What would be the first 3 words that would come to your mind?
3 words would be hard.
So I'm allowing you 10. Americans doesn't have enough patience in order to listen, really. I do, but they don't.
Who I am is a man born of woman who throughout his whole life has sought to reveal his universal soul and to shed his human ego and become love. That's who I am. That's what I'm willing to become. I began wanting to receive love, and now...
Don't we all? Trying to receive love all the time?
And I've received it much. Some people who, obligated is not the right word, but some people who have a natural intention to give love because of their family relationship, but many other people who give me love because of what I have given them. Many people.
Did you manage to recognize that love when you received it, or only afterwards? Because usually what happens to us is that, we're getting the love of our parents, but we realize that that was love long after, or that somebody was in love with you.
Yeah.
Talking even about romance that you don't know to appreciate at that time, and only when we look backwards. So
I think it's difficult to take off what blinds you, which is myself, to see how people have loved me. When my father divorced my mother, I did not speak to my father for 8 years, and I was very angry at him. And then I was in a setting where I was encouraged to express my anger towards my father, and that was safe and accepted. And it was not only a verbal anger, but it was hitting, and hitting to a point of exhaustion. And surprisingly, and I was hitting a pillow.
I know.
I was hitting a pillow.
I did the same thing. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And when I was completely exhausted, physically and maybe emotionally, I just reached down and picked up the pillow and said, I love you. And then I knew that...
Was he still alive at that time?
Yeah. And so we reconnected. And he was a man who was raised in the culture of the 1920s and the Depression and scarcity. And then he lost his father through murder when he was quite young. When he was 10 years old, his father ran a store, and he was bringing the money back to pay people, and he was robbed and killed.
Where was that?
It was in Cairo, Illinois, which is at the southern tip of Illinois, where the Ohio and Mississippi River come together. And the Ohio and Mississippi River were like the internet. It was where everything moved in this country. And Cairo was a hot town. It had qualities of Silicon Valley in terms of growth and entrepreneurship, and he lived there. So he was a very cautious man. He was very cautious exposing himself.
But that was also the culture. You didn't show emotions in the 20s.
I didn't know about culture. I knew about my father. And I knew by report that when I was very young, 4 or 5 years old, he was very affectionate. Would get on the floor and play with me. And then that stopped, and we became just separate people. He was never critical. He was never harsh. He was very in control of himself. Once in his life did I hear him swear. Once.
He never raised a hand on you?
Never raised a hand, never raised a voice, never raised a criticism.